Coach Mark DeVito, Celtics.com. You guys have been here before, last year, this year again with Game 7. What's a Game 7 all about?
Gotta get ready to play, at a high level, just like every other game. And then, you know, it's win or go home. So it'll be, you know, it's an absolute blast to prepare for as a coach and play in as a player. Be a heck of a challenge, playing a really good team with, you know, obviously tremendous individual player and who put on a tremendous show tonight.
Chris Maskey, you got the quarter that you wanted in that first quarter,
Yeah.
5-point lead. Where did it get away from you?
I thought our second quarter, we missed some opportunities, but I thought we also just got lax a little bit offensively. When we get lax offensively, we open up transition opportunities for them, and that's a problem. And then again, LeBron, I thought, lowered his head and drove the ball at that time. And you know, we did a pretty good job towards the end of that quarter on him, but he had already made a few layups, and then he gets to feeling good and hits those tougher shots. I was proud of the way that we fought back, had a chance there to cut it to 4 on a shot. It didn't quite go down, but this group's resilient. We'll be ready to go on Sunday.
Brad, before the series began, I asked you about having LeBron in your path year after year, 3 out of the last 4 years, and you said it's really Cavs versus Celtics. I don't look that way. But when he does something like he does tonight, 46 minutes, and then the numbers, does that ever come into your mind that this is a different type of animal that I'm coaching against?
Does that ever come into our minds? Like, yeah, every time we watch, every time you're standing out there, every time you watch him on film, I mean, best player in the game. So, special night tonight, and special night in Game 4. You know, yeah, I can't say enough good things about it.
Mark Murphy, Boston Herald. Brad, those last 2 threes by LeBron, just watching those.
Great defense by Tatum, great shots by LeBron. Hats off. Tremendous. I mean, I thought the second one wasn't quite as contested maybe as the first one. The first one was ridiculous.
Brian Robb, Boston Sports Journal. Brad, they seem to really hurt you guys on the offensive glass there, especially at the beginning of the fourth quarter. Just what are the, you know, obviously they have a lot of weapons there for the NSU. What was the biggest?
I thought as we were coming back, that was the biggest issue, was the glass. You know, other than obviously LeBron, but I think the idea, I think we were all obviously consumed with our help, and we didn't either rotate and drop and block out, or we just missed blockouts individually, and they got easy tippings.
Fred, Kenny Rogers, WHBC. How did Kevin Love leaving the game with the injury affect you guys as far as your game plan or your defense?
Maybe more on the other end. You know, we would guard obviously a little bit differently with Kevin in the game, but you know, obviously with the different matchups that they're playing and everything else, you know, when they went small, I thought, you know, those guys all reacted very effectively, and Jeff Green was great tonight. And I thought obviously Korver came in and made some shots and did what he does, and George Hill was tremendous. Other guys picked up the slack for him being out.
The other night you said best 2 out of 3 to go to the NBA Finals. Now it's, well, 1 game. What's your message going to be to your players other than that?
Prepare well and have a great time. Enjoy.
Steve Ash from NBA.com. On a night like this, are you assuming that LeBron's going to go the distance? And if you think he might sit out at any point, are you monitoring that closely to try to make hay?
He really only sits out usually end of first, end of third for maybe 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes. There's an occasion where he'll sit out at the start of the next quarter. But, you know, he's playing 42 to 44 minutes anyways in this series. Now, you know, tonight I thought he would go 48. I think it ended up 46. It would have been on pace to go 46-30 because he took, I think he was out for 1.5 minutes at the end of the third, and that's it, before the subs at the very end.
Coach Jim, NBA.com. You guys went to Horford a lot in the post in the first quarter, and they doubled a lot. And were you happy with the way you guys reacted to that? And did you feel like you went to Horford in the post enough after the first quarter?
I thought that was good at times in the first quarter for sure. I thought our spacing was excellent, the way we moved it out of the double. I thought that the rest of the night when we posted, I didn't think we were as poised coming out of the double. Not necessarily Al, but just our whole 5-man alignment in general wasn't as good. But you know, when they're doubling, you've got to be ready to be a passer out of there, and Al's a very good passer.
Back right, Chris. Back right, Chris.
Brad, Chris Casper, Boston Globe, just to sort of piggyback on that, it took Al a while to get going. He was scoreless at halftime, and you look at his home-road splits here in the playoffs. At home, it's about 19 a game. On the road, it's about 12. Is there anything you guys can do to get him going earlier, particularly on the road? Not that that's an issue now with Game 7 at home, but just getting him going.
It just kind of depends on who you're playing against and how they're playing. I mean, obviously, they're late switching, what we call veering, a lot of pick and rolls. When he does set him with Thompson, Thompson's tremendous defensively, but one of the things that makes him tremendous is his ability to switch. George Hill's into Al's legs, and right on the catch or on the dribble, they're going, so they're doubling. He's touching the ball and making plays out of the double, then his number of field goal attempts is going to be less. You know, the question that John asked, did we go to him enough? Probably a good question, and you know, one that when we review it, we'll look at it and figure out if we need to do more.
Brad Rajeski from ESPN 990. Talk about, if you would, for a moment, the kid from Cleveland plays for you, Terry Rozier. Well, how much has he exceeded your hopes, your expectations, what you thought you saw in him in this postseason? Tonight's game being maybe you know, the first example of it.
You know, I think that our job as coaches is not to set limits on players with our own ceilings we have for him. So he hasn't exceeded them at all. I think that we have high expectations for Terry, and we think he's going to be terrific, and he's just going to get better and better. But we're not going to set ceilings on him. He's got a chance to be a very, very good player.
One question, coach.
Right, Gary Washington, Boston Globe. How did Jason Tatum make it out of that collision with Love? Do you think that affected him? And did you want him to be more aggressive early?
Yeah, I mean, we were on that one, and our trainers were on that one in the huddle right after. Obviously, that was a nasty deal. He felt fine. He'll be, you know, just like every other time. We'll continue to talk to him over the next 24 hours to make sure. But every indication is he's fine. But I thought he was good in the second half. I didn't think we did a good enough job of getting him as involved in the first.